symbol moment is focused on universal weather symbols. Okay, Billie, we've talked about bodies of water. What happens when it starts to rain?
Right. Rain is another one that shows up often in dreams. And again, we have to repeat what we've said before. Life force, life source, all of these things are being emphasized in the dream symbol. But I often think about when rain shows up about tears. And is the dream trying to indicate that there are some tears that wish to be shed about a particular incident? Like it's like the rain cloud is ready to burst. So there's one layer to that symbol, but then the other symbol is that the rain feeds the earth and lets things grow and encourages things to grow. People pray for rain. So there is a place of nourishment there too. In other words, so to take that symbol of like, well, if I do shed the tears that I need to shed, is that going to eventually nourish me on one layer? So rain can be a beautiful symbol.
Wow, I love that. I mean, I love rain anyway, so to imagine that depth of understanding with the rain in the dreams is really cool. Well, what about when the rain freezes and it gets cold out and it starts to snow?
Wow, and again, snow, it's just a constant symbol I deal with all the time. We have to remember that we want the water to be flowing freely. And if it is life force, it's life force that's flowing freely. So when we deal with snow, snow is frozen emotion in one level and frozen life force also. And again, sort of like the rain symbol, if I have not fully dealt with the emotional layer to a particular issue and it's become frozen, and then on one layer that freezes my life force as well.
Okay, so I'm listening to this thing about snow, and it could be about frozen life force. And I'm picturing, I'm from Wisconsin originally. Okay, so we're talking frozen tundra where snow accumulates and accumulates. And I've had dreams where snow is just accumulating like crazy outside of my house. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Wow. Well, I would have to, we have to look at what all the other things that are happening in the dream. So does it take me back to my childhood home in the dream, or is it my current waking life home? It could be, some particular issue that I'm dealing with right now that feels like I've frozen up, and the emotion and the life force is frozen up in a particular issue. The encouragement of the dream is that if it's remembered, then I can start to thaw that out.
So you can still use it.
That's right. No dream comes for the reason to say, well, look, you have this problem and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. The dream is always encouraging us to find a creative resolution to whatever the issue might be.
So accumulation in that sense could be a good thing because we can still utilize it. It's there for us.
Well, it's frozen life force on one level. So it's a part of me, if an emotional issue hasn't been dealt with completely, then I dream about snow, then the dream is almost emphasizing so much life force has been stored away in this particular issue. And it's preserved and ready to be used. It's just up to me to try to discover what that is.
Wow, very cool. Okay, so that's rain and snow. Now, there's some other kinds of weather things that happen that definitely have water and some other elements mixed in, and that's when the weather gets really stormy. It can storm, or even a tornado. What does that symbolize?
Well, hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, they're all very forceful energies, and they are hard to avoid. There's no way to really avoid a hurricane or a tornado. It's just like it's going to be coming at us. So often these have to do with calling. So a part of, in imagining myself having the dream, and I have dreamt about tornadoes myself and worked on a lot of dreams with people that have dealt with tornadoes. Often what happens is the dreamer will say something like, I've dreamt about tornadoes all my life, but they used to be really, really, really far away, and now they're getting closer and closer. So I would have to ask myself, in my version of the dream, is this about a calling that I've known, I've had sort of an inspiration and an intuition about all my life, but I have not really fully accepted it or acknowledged it. So the tornado comes to remind me of this divine force, this divine nature, something that is to be reckoned with, a very powerful source. So if I'm able to tap into and acknowledge this part of me that is meant to do something very big of a divine nature, then the tornado won't chase me anymore in the dream. But also tornadoes are combinations of water and wind. So it's a universal symbol of masculine and feminine being combined.
Wow, that's really interesting. And obviously, in the sense of a spiritual calling, I mean, that's something that chooses us.
That's right.
It's not something that we can necessarily choose. So that makes sense that this would correlate with the tornado, because we certainly don't say, I think I'll have a tornado next Tuesday.
Right, that's right. It's not something that I can just put on hold. I can't, when the tornado warning comes on the radio or on the TV, we have to take heed of the warning and realize it's on its way. So we can't put the pause button on it anymore. So if it's a person has been recurrent, has a recurrent symbol of a tornado showing up, the dream is encouraging that dreamer to come to terms with whatever this calling is.
No option to reschedule. This is now.
Right. That's right. Otherwise, in my version of it, I've made an appointment to have the dream again.
Oh, wow. Never thought about that.
Right.
So if you just decide not to pay attention to that particular dream, that particular situation, that's making an appointment to have that again.
Yes, and the dream symbols are very insistent. And a lot of times people ask me, they say, why is it that I keep dreaming about the same thing over and over again? And the reason is that if I haven't delve into what the symbol means and haven't gotten to the nitty-gritty of it, then I'm not going to really deal with it enough. The dream is limitless. It can show us anything it wants. So why would it show the same thing over and over and over again? This is the reason is, I think, is because this is the best way the dream has found to give me this information. So the tornado is just a universal symbol of forceful, masculine, feminine, divine nature combined.
Incredible. And with that, I think we're complete on our universal weather symbols. This dream symbol moment is brought to you by wakeuptoyourdreams.com.